Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm Lala.
And I'm Junebug.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of Old versus New Generation Parenting. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot to talk about, and we're not here to give advice. We're here to share our opinions.
No, nobody wants no advice from Junebug.
You probably don't want it from Lala either.
Right.
But we got some stuff to talk about.
Uh-huh.
You know, because this gentle parenting, which is what I call the new generation of parenting.
Wild work.
It is something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and, you know, some of you may agree with gentle parenting, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you believe in doing. And, you know, we're all parents and we have our way of parenting. Mm-hmm. And I think it's whatever may work for you and your child. That's my opinion. What do you think, Junebug?
Well, I think them kids ain't going to be gentle when they're tearing you up.
Well, I'm not a gentle
teenage years.
Parenting person, you know. That's not for me, you know, because the thing about gentle parenting, I believe you're supposed to stay calm and let them validate their feelings. And use gentle techniques, Junebug.
Okay.
That is gentle parenting.
Well, that's not how Junebug's kids was brought up, but...
You must be old school, generational parenting.
Old school. Well, I don't know. I may be a mix, kind of both.
Both?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Big on the respect for the elders. That's a big thing for me. You know.
Yeah, that's that old parenting.
Yeah, you know, you use your manners and it's yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am.
Right.
As far as I know, they do that. Maybe, you know, hold the door open for people for, you know, a woman or whatever.
Being nice and kind,
use
respectful.
Manners.
Yes, manners. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, no thank you.
Exactly.
And when it come time for discipline...
Well, that discipline, we know, is not this gentle parenting. Because they don't do discipline like what I think you're talking about, Junebug. Yeah. What exactly are you talking about on discipline? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, that's what I was thinking you were talking about.
But, you know, I didn't have to whip my kids much at all. I think if you know, we've never been gentle speaking to our children either. You know, I've talked to my kids like they're little humans instead of, I guess, little pets. I don't know. You know how some people don't say that in front of my child. Well, don't bring one to me.
Nope.
But so they're not disrespectful children, I don't think. And they have not been gently parented either. I remember. Do you remember when that show? Oh, it had the British nanny on it. She would come and help these children.
Yes. Wasn't it? Was it called the nanny? Super Nanny.
Super Nanny. Okay.
Super Nanny.
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched that show, and she was doing the timeout chair, and I thought, the what?
Yeah.
And them little kids being there just acting a fool and flailing and hollering and screaming on the floor. No. You're going to have to get a hold of them a little bit.
Well, you know, I used to watch that show all the time, too. And I thought it was a good show. Now, I don't think it works for all kids, though. Mm-mm. You know, you're setting boundaries is what I believe the timeout chair is for, because instead of punishment, you're letting them know this is what you're going to do and you're going to stay there. You're setting that boundary. I'm the parent and you're the child. So, you know, and a lot of that gentle parenting is, of course, now you got to teach them while you're parenting in a different way. Because I looked up an example, Junebug.
I know you did.
I did, because, you know, some people might not really get when we're saying gentle parenting because, you know, they don't go there anyway.
Right.
But here's an example. The old way, you would say to your child, put your shoes on now. Like if you've had a problem with them not going in there and finish getting dressed.
And I've done told you once, and I'm not going to tell you again, but I'm going to tear you up.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's old school. But gentle parenting, this is what you would say. I can see you don't want to put on your shoes, Larry.
Oh,
but
stop it.
but it's time for us to leave. But see, what the difference is, you're setting and explaining. Well, you're explaining to them why it's important. You need for them to put their shoes on.
Yeah, but that's how I explained to mine. Do it now, or I'm fixing to get you.
Well,
and they did.
Well, Jimbo, maybe some kids don't realize how important this matter is.
If you think I'm fixing to sit and look at a 5-year-old in the face talking about, Larry, please put your shoes on so we can go to the store. Larry's fixing to get tore up. And he ain't going to the store snubbing.
Well, Jimbo, I agree with you. That's just me. If I tell you to go put your shoes on, go put your shoes on. Now, sometimes they may say why, and that's okay. If they ask why, I may say we're fixing to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But if it's still a stall there on them putting on their shoes, okay, then I'm more like you, Jimbo.
Or a fit.
Yes. I mean, just go do it. You know.
Please, just
exactly. You know, and I believe, yes, in both cases there should be boundaries, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think with the old school, like you said, respect for elders. Mm-hmm. And they should really just comply without questions. But sometimes there may be a question, and that's okay. Because that's old school. You didn't ask why. At least when I was growing up, you just did it.
Right.
Yeah. And so you had this strictness about parenting. Mm-hmm. You know, go do it and do it. You didn't overspend back in the days. You did not overspend on your child. You got what you could get, and that's what you were going to get. Uh-huh. You didn't overschedule. You didn't have them in every single sporting event or dance class or, you know, whatever you can think of, piano lessons. Right. You know, just overexerting yourself because you made them the center of the universe. Yeah. And you weren't afraid to discipline like they are now. They're like scared to discipline. Let me tell you, Junebug, really quick. Okay. I was watching a video of this little girl, and we'll just call her Angel. I'm sure that wasn't her name, but we'll just say Angel was throwing a fit because she had did a takeout order, and the driver was being too slow getting it there, in her opinion. Uh-huh. So when he finally did get there, and it didn't say how long, you know, of time that had went by since she ordered it, but when he got there, she wanted her tip money back. And she kept saying to the driver, I want my money back now. And her mother was out there and kept telling her, Angel, this is not what we do. You will be respectful. Well, she wasn't listening to that. She acted like she heard nothing and turned back to the driver and said, give me my money back. Well, Dad was coming around the corner, and Mom was like, do you hear her? And Dad pretty much was very nonchalant. Really, he was acting like, you know, he didn't care. And she was telling Dad, the little girl, you know, she wanted to get in the car and go follow the driver to get her tip money back.
How old is this little girl?
She looked to be no more than 10. So 9 or 10 is what I'm saying.
The 10-year-old baby is ordering her own.
And her mother was saying, stop
DoorDash
it.
Or whatever.
Apparently so. Because the mother said, next time you need money for DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever it was, I'm not going to give you any. Because she told her to come back here. The little girl was going into the house. She said, come back here right now. And she hollered out, no. And I thought to myself, those words would have never come out of my mouth growing up.
Well, they might have once, but they wouldn't again.
Well, I learned from older kids not to do that.
A 10-year-old sitting out there mouthing her mama.
Yes.
And then mouthing this perfect stranger.
Yes.
And I bet that guy's looking like, y'all better do something.
He just kept going and got in his car.
That's wild, because you know Mama's paying for that cell phone the baby's ordered her food on, right?
Has to be, but
Mama's also giving her that money. So, okay. What kind of human are you raising?
Exactly.
What kind of citizen, what kind of person in this world is that child going to be if at 10 years old she's already that disrespectful, not only to strangers but to her parents?
Well, That is true. And she started, saying in the video, I'm so embarrassed.
The mama did?
The mama did.
She should be.
Well, yes, she should be. But Dad was no help.
And she should be shamed.
Dad, I think if he'd have put his foot down, some of that would have stopped. But he did not.
Sometimes, though, I think one parent takes on the role of the disciplinarian more than the other. You know what I
True.
mean?
But I felt like in this instance that if he would have actually said that, she may have listened. That's what I picked up from it. Because she definitely wasn't finna listen to nothing Mom said. And I'm like, this started a lot earlier than 10.
Oh, gosh. I know this is not the same world that you and I grew up in, so kids can't be raised in a world that no longer exists. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, I guess we were the last group of feral children, per se. We entertained ourselves and we're okay with that for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We had bicycles and friends and basketball and, ooh, I loved that pogo ball. Did you have a pogo ball, Lala?
Here she goes,
Lala,
bragging again. I did not have one.
Did you have Barbies?
And see, she's trying to give me a flashback, y'all. She know I wanted Barbies growing up and did not get one. Not one time. So she's on here. She's clowning today, y'all.
No, I'm getting to a point. So, we had all that, and we kind of entertained ourselves. When it started getting dark. You didn't go far from home.
Right.
You weren't supposed to. But, and then, the street lights come on, it's time to get on back in the house.
Get your butt in that house, that light. You better beat that light coming on.
Well, now, we live in a world that's not the same as that. It's,
right.
People are nuts. Not that they weren't then, but it's just so much more common now.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes what I've noticed is that we're very eager to get little Larry in kindergarten that little cell phone, right?
Right.
Or little Angel when she's a year old. Let's get her a tablet. She'll be so smart. She can look at this tablet and do all this. And so what we've done is we've let electronics and the internet raise our children.
Right.
Instead of us parenting our children. It's almost like, I don't want to say they don't have time for them, but it's like they don't want to be bothered with it, You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, just take this phone, take this tablet, get over there and sit down and be real quiet and play your game.
Okay.
And I think that's a lot of the problem.
I agree with you on that. Mm-hmm. And I also think another part of the issue is parents being afraid their kids won't like them. And? Trying to be the friend.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work, especially with today's children.
Right.
Because I always get so-and-so's mom lets her do this, that, and that. Well, I'm not so-and-so's mom.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not Angel's mom because that wouldn't have been happening.
And I ain't Larry's mama.
Mm-mm. No. Sometimes you may get a little lost in the parenting on what to do about a situation because also they are afraid to discipline.
I know. What about all these stories you see where these little kids calling like child protective services or the police on their parents because
right,
they got grounded or they got a whipping or I'm not talking about beating a child. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're, late 30s, 40s and on up, you got your tail whooped.
Yeah.
And you're okay.
And if you want to call it a spanking to make you feel better, that's fine too.
That's fine
you
too.
Got spanked, okay.
Mm-hmm. But it was called a whooping at our house.
Yeah, you got your butt whooped, okay.
Tore up.
Exactly.
But I don't remember getting a lot. I'm going to say that. I don't remember getting a lot of whippings.
Me either, to be honest. And because it only took one time, and I knew not to do whatever that was again.
Yeah. Now, I did a lot of stuff that my mom and daddy, per se didn't know, and I probably should have had my butt whooped.
Right.
More, but, it's so, you go to the store and you see these little kids just acting a fool. Screaming all in the aisles. I do not know how anybody can sit there with their child acting like that and stay in the store and all but beg them, don't do that, please, quit crying, just stop.
Well,
take them to the car and tear that little tail up. So, what's wrong, y'all? Why have we stopped disciplining our children, and why have we started letting everything but us raise our children, whether it be, phones, tablets, social media, internet, the street. You just turn your kids loose, be out on the road somewhere, you ain't saw. Y'all can't do that,
No,
that.
especially the streets. No.
That's a quick path to nowhere, y'all. So when did we become tender, I guess we could say.
Tender, afraid, tender, yes.
Weak.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, back when I was younger, very much younger in motherhood, I tried to do different things because I wasn't trying to just whoop my kids every time you turn around.
Yeah.
And, I can count on one hand my older two, the both of them together, how many times they were actually spanked or whatever you may want to call it.
Right.
But there was one time one of my children was throwing a tantrum. Now, I already said she, so you heard that. She kind of got that way after she'd go visit Dad and come back. She may have been 2 or 3 years old, but believe you me, she knew what a tantrum was. So when she come back home, she didn't get her way. That's what she decided to do. And I was online. And I was reading where someone had said, hey, sprinkle a little water on them. So I thought, I'll try that. It said it won't harm them. They're just, they said it'll just start on a little bit and they'll stop.
Oh, you mean get your fingers wet and just power?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was some kind of philosophical, I don't know, what do you call that?
Girl, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so, so when the next time she come back and started that, I just thought, okay, I'm going to try that. I saw that online somewhere. So I went and just wet my hand up pretty good so I could have just a little teeny bit of water in there by the time I got back to her.
Right.
And just sprinkle it on her, right there on her face.
Yeah.
And it worked. She did stop.
Okay.
But this is the part that I want to get out there.
Okay.
I shared that in my little mom group, that actually worked on a tantrum. Do you know these people in this group started saying things like, you could have drowned her? Yes. Said she could have drowned from water. Water could have, it don't take but a small amount, could have went up her nose, and she could have drowned.
Like you took a bucket in there and doused it.
Exactly.
It's not just water drops on your fingertips at this point, pretty much.
Yes. And I thought to myself, years later, because we're talking 30 years ago, okay? That's the type of parents that were probably in what they call now the gentle parenting, because that made no sense to me. Yeah. And even at the time, it made no sense to me. No one was, there wasn't enough water for nothing.
Right.
And it worked. Now, if you go get more than just a little sprinkle, don't say you heard that from Lala, because that's not what I told you to do. Right. And I'm not telling you what to do now. I was sharing the story.
I think it's just, that would be a distraction. Stop doing that. We're not going to do that.
And that was what the point where someone else had told me to try it. It was like a distraction, and they stopped.
Yeah. Like a little tap on that naked leg. Don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, my mama, Junebug's mama can go hard. My mama is a wonderful mother. She was always wonderful when we were kids, but she didn't play, and you knew that, okay? She never beat us, nothing like that. I can't even remember, honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't even ever remember her whipping me. But she had a way about her, that way, and my daddy's this way too, that way that, they can just look at you or just say one thing and then you feel like, oh my God, I wish you just went on and whipped me. But I have seen her with her grandkids. And, you've heard people say, that ain't the same people that raised me.
Right.
I mean that genuinely. Okay?
Yes, I believe you.
Okay. But I have seen my mama in the backyard hollering at these children, and they're just running. My mama bent down, took her flip-flop off, and honey, she chucked that shoe, and towel, right in the back it went. They stopped. It was far enough away, it didn't hurt them, y'all. Don't be crying on here talking about abuse, all that. That's, no. But it got their attention. And they stopped running, and they came to her. Mm-hmm. Now, if she'd have been out there begging them children, I'd have been looking at my mama like, what is wrong with you? I can't, Larry, come on. Larry, don't run.
Well, my grandmother, no, she was a different type of grandmother because she didn't play, and yeah, she was that grandmother. So she was not the grandmothers today that that raised you, that were, being a little nicer and just going all out for the grandkids. No, my grandmother, she didn't play, and you knew it. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, Junebug.
Okay.
Angel, I said she's about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And she was pretty much running things.
Oh, Angel baby.
Is it too late at that age? What can you really do at that age to turn things around?
At that point, 10 years old. 10-year-olds now are like 15-year-olds used to be back in the day. Kids aren't little anymore. I don't know. They just...
Well, I heard you say earlier she wouldn't have a phone.
That's true. No, we got to get the phone and whatever else. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know this. I don't have girls, and I thank God for that, because I would worry. I'm a worrier anyway, but it would be so much worse if I had baby girls to worry about, because of this internet.
Right.
When a child is on that, from, we'll say 5 to 10, so social media has pretty much been an influence on their life for 5 years. And this is very, crucial time for them. Critical time. It's going to be hard because baby Angel's going to throw a fit. But you got to get that phone, and you got to ground her. And you've got to get your bluff in. You got to let her know, look now.
Yeah.
I'm the mama.
You can't be all talk.
Nope. And when I say something, that's what I mean.
Exactly.
You got to stop being scared of your children, y'all. We're failing our children.
Right.
We are failing them. Us. We are. Nobody else. But you got to stop letting everything but you raise them, y'all. Please.
Yes. You have to discipline them.
Yes.
And I'm not saying if you don't believe in whooping your child,
right, don't.
Then don't. But what I'm saying is you've got to discipline them, though. They have to have some type of punishment for that behavior.
Yes.
And punishment or discipline is not the same as, okay, I'm fixing to whoop you. Okay. These days, kids have more access to things that you can use to say, okay, no. Yeah. And so you have to set some boundaries. You have to. You can't be afraid of what could possibly happen, unless you're doing wrong, and you know what we mean by that.
Yes.
But you have to be a little more strict in whatever you are doing, especially little Angel's 10 years old.
Right.
She shouldn't, to me, my own opinion, have access to be calling Uber Eats.
No, and she sure shouldn't be going to the door to pick up her delivery, arguing with this adult.
Exactly.
Because I'm not getting my money back.
Right, because I'm sure this is not little Angel's first time acting that way.
Right. And my mama needed to take little Angel by the arm and put her back in the house.
Yes.
Apologize to that man.
Yes, because...
And give him a little more of a tip for having to put up with my lack of parenting.
Yes, because I've been grabbing little Angel by her arm, and both of us would have been walking in the house and try to get past me out this door. It's like, I do wish Dad would have stepped in and done something, because I do believe in this particular story that was part of the issue. Yeah. And Dad probably doesn't listen to Mom either. So that's an issue that you could tell in this house, because she did say, and I forgot to say this earlier, whatever his name was, Harry, are you not going to do anything?
Right.
And of course he didn't. So what do we do? What do we all do when you're in a particular situation like this with Angel, and a lot of us, not just the kids, turn to the internet for advice, and I believe that's why Mom picked up the phone and started recording, because maybe she'd had it and this had happened so many times, and she just started recording and asked, what does she need to do?
She asked who that?
The audience, on the question on the video.
Oh.
So, Junebug, we're almost here to the end now, and it seems like we just got started talking about it. Because, old school, new school, parenting, that's probably something that would take another show. But let me ask this, because, I know, Junebug, you're old school. Mm-hmm. You're old school. Mm-hmm. So, let me ask you this. Kinda?
Yeah.
Kinda?
Well, I mean, I treat my kids like they're young people.
Right.
And, now my kids are, I have one grown son, one almost grown. And I give them more freedom than probably, or, did. They're two totally different children. But my younger one, he's got, a lot of freedom. And I'm okay with that, because he's never given me a reason not to trust him.
Right.
I believe that he's telling me the truth when he speaks to me. He tells me where he's going, what he's doing. I know who he's with. I know when he's coming back. So we don't even mess with a curfew.
Okay.
He's responsible.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
So you never had to deal with the little Angel?
No. Well, yeah, no. No, not like that.
So I can only imagine if you would have had a girl child, how you would have really handled the situation. Because, Junebug, I listen to you all the time, and
well, girl or boy, whether it's my little Angel baby or my little Larry boy, I ain't gonna sit out there and talk like that to grown folks, and me sitting there recording them, begging them, looking like a fool in front of this driver. No, ma'am.
Well, do you believe it was a cry for help, though? The video, the lady, maybe she had a cry for help, like, I don't know what else to do.
No, I think sometimes most of that's for attention, like, y'all feel sorry for me, look what I got to deal with, but baby, you did it. You did that. But
did she do it by herself? Because I'm wondering, if she's tried and tried and tried, and then,
Yeah.
Because everybody's always, two-parent household, and that's best for the child and all this stuff. But then here's Harry ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, but that ain't always true. We know that.
Right.
Women got that magic, y'all. We can do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
We may not want to, but we can.
Yes. And there's a lot of parents out there that seek advice, want advice, because they're in her situation. They've got an Angel at home. And Angel may be younger or Angel may be older.
Right.
So it's like when they get so much older, though, you're at a point where you're like, oh my gosh, I really don't know what to do, because if I do whoop them at this age, they're going to get the phone or go next door and get the phone. They're going to call the people.
Well, I mean, that's my point, though. If you raise your children with the discipline that they need, I'm not even going to keep doing that, talking about, I'm not talking about beat your child. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, if you raise them that way, then they know what to expect from you. They know what you expect of them.
But they're past that, Junebug. They're past that. What do they do now? Angel is 14. And Angel definitely way past disrespecting you and any adult. I mean, it's like, what do you turn to now?
I don't know at that point. I don't know what she would do. I mean, Angel may be getting ready to tear you up.
Well, she may be, but if she gets really disrespectful and way out of hand, a lot of people will seek the courts for advice. She probably would have to be doing something criminal, though.
Yeah, but I mean, y'all just do better by your kids. Y'all take time with your children.
And mean what you say.
Yes. Y'all, this is what you are putting out into the world. Your children are a reflection of you. What do you want people to see when they look at your kids?
Yes.
Just think of that.
Yes.
I don't want somebody, seeing one of my kids in town thinking, oh my God, there's Junebug's kids.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to be bad as hell.
I've actually think I've heard that's one of Lala's. So,
y'all don't want that, I promise.
No.
Just raise your kids. You don't have to be their friend.
Nope.
But that'll come. my sister tells one of her kids, we're not friends right now, and that's okay. We will be later. Right now, I'm mama.
Exactly.
So, and that's very important. They're going to get mad, and they may not talk to you for, 2 or 3 hours? But I promise they're going to come to you a lot quicker than what you think.
Yes.
They ain't that mad, y'all.
Lay that foundation.
Yes, please. It's so important.
Yes. And some may still get out of hand, but you're doing your job at what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's all, anyone can expect.
Exactly.
But make sure you lay the foundation that needs to be there.
Yes.
And,
please, y'all.
I said we were coming to the end of the show and started back talking, but we're going to come back to y'all with another episode next Monday. Mm-hmm. And what are we going to be talking about, Junebug?
Y'all, I love all things history and paranormal, and this story has got both combined. A lot of y'all may not have heard of it. When I first mentioned it to Lala, she had never heard of it. It's a town in Georgia that no longer exists per se, called Oscarville. Mm. And if y'all haven't heard of Oscarville, if y'all want to look up, Google it, see what it's about, or if you want to wait on Lala and I to tell you about Oscarville, that'll probably be a 2-part at least, y'all, because, first we got to go into the history, then we're going to go into the paranormal. But anyway, please come back and join us. Y'all sit down and talk with us. Tell us what you thought about this episode in the comments.
Yes.
Y'all don't be tender.
Don't. Okay? Yes,
don't
we can take
tender.
It.
Don't be offended by things we say. I can't just stop. We're all grown. Let's just have fun together, okay?
Exactly.
So anyway, we'll see y'all back Monday.
Yes, and don't forget to like, share.
Yes.
And hey, subscribe.
Please.
Yes, we love for you to get all into all of our shows, because we are 2 people that just love to have conversation. Mm-hmm. And hey, just listen to us every week. We think you'll enjoy it.
Yes.
So we thank you for joining Keeping It Real.
Keeping It Real, y'all.
I'm Lala.
And I'm Junebug.